You timed that so well. Welcome back to Deep Dive Library. That is staying in, by the way.
Thank you. I wanted it to. I wanted it to be there. That's why I did it.
Welcome back to Deep Dive Library, where we do a deep dive on your favorite books. And things are starting to pick up in the arena.
Well, and like also what I said was very accurate to what like Katniss experienced. You know, at the end of last chapter. You know, I look around and
chapter. How about through most of this one?
Well, right, but we're not picking up in the middle of this chapter. You know, we're picking up at the beginning of it. So, you know, at the end of last chapter is like, I looked around in bewilderment. It's not yet dawn, but my stinging eyes can see it. It would be hard to miss the wall of fire descending on me.
Yup.
I said, fire!
We'll be making our way into chapter 13 today.
And
which puts us exactly halfway through the book. Give or take. Math.
Yeah.
Because it's an uneven amount of chapters, but...
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's basically halfway through the first book. But anyway, before we get into today's chapter, welcome back to the show. Stuff's been crazy, as usual, so we're recording late.
Again.
But...
And we're sorry.
We're still going to make sure this gets out to you guys.
Yeah.
Because that is what we want to do.
Yep.
If you guys enjoyed this episode, please leave a like and subscribe. And
I have to burp.
Tell us what your favorite moment from the episode was.
Yeah.
Do I need to turn down your microphone?
Oh, excuse me.
No? Okay, you're good.
I could feel it just like bubbling up.
That's fair. But yeah.
Poor Katniss.
Poor Katniss, yeah, because it's...
That's a really rude awakening.
Oh, yeah, just wake up and my world's on fire. How about yours? That's all that I can sing before we get copywritten.
Oh, and look at that. If we were making revenue from this video, it's now gone. Thanks, Connor. No.
It's 10 seconds, I think. Anyway.
So. I mean, and you said, like, 5 words.
Yeah.
So...
We're off to a very rambunctious start today, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
So, let's just get into this.
Yeah.
Katniss wakes up and, panics.
Fire!
Katniss wakes up in a panic because there's just a massive wall of fire.
Oh. You know what you could have sang instead of, Smash Mouth?
What's that?
Bo Burnham's A World on Fire.
Yeah, but... Piano's not turned on, nor is it hooked up to the interface, so, you know.
No, that's okay. It doesn't need to be, just the chaotic. I think we'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. So, Katniss's first thought is that I need to get the hell out of this tree.
I mean, which I think would be anyone's first thought if, like, other than, oh my god, fire!
That or just immediately shitting themselves. Because I think a lot of people probably would if they saw a 30-foot wall of fire coming in their direction.
Oh, yeah. And it's just like, we got fire, smoke, burning stuff, and a hint of defecation. So, quick tangent, real quick. Okay, the way I said that just made me think of a moment in... Switched at Birth. Spoilers if you haven't watched Switched at Birth, but if you haven't seen all of it, like, it's been out for like many
13 years, 14 years,
something like that. So it's really on you if you haven't watched it yet. Go watch it on Hulu. And if you don't have Hulu, I don't know.
There's probably other places to watch it.
Yeah, I just don't know.
No, that's fair.
But Bae is at a dorm party with a guy named Tank. By the way, I probably have showed you this before, but his name sign is...
Yeah.
And I love that. But he's like, let's go get you a drink. And so they go off to the punch bowl, and, you know, he pours her a drink from the punch bowl, and she's like, what's in this? And he's like, with jungle juice, it's best not to ask, or something like that.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And then she, like, sniffs it and, like, takes a sip or something, and is like, well, it tastes like nail polish remover. And he's like, a good year.
Yeah, jungle juice is a very dangerous drink to make at any party.
Oh, yeah.
Especially a college dorm party. Not that I would ever know, because I've never been to college.
And even if I did go to college and lived in a dorm, I definitely would not be going to parties.
Oh, God, no. That is just not me. I don't like parties.
Don't look... You look at me. I am not... I don't look like a party person.
I mean, your hair screams party people, but, like, that's about it.
No, my hair screams mental illness.
Yo, this episode's going great so far. Anyway, so Katniss, her first impulse is to scramble from the tree. She's like, I gotta get out of here. But she's belted in, so somehow her fingers find the strap, and she just kind of plummets to the ground.
Yeah. And she's just like, you know, she's
just
glad that she's got
stuff everything in
the sleeping bag. Her water and her book bag is already in there, so it's just throw the belt in there, throw it over your shoulder, and run. Yeah,
like she doesn't have much time for really anything.
Oh yeah, no time for thinking. Just go.
The world has transformed into flame and smoke. Burning branches crack from the trees and fall in showers of sparks at my feet. This is Katniss is describing what's going on.
I love this. It's 2 sentences. Yeah. The world has transformed into flames and smoke. Period. Burning branches crack from trees and fall in showers of sparks at my feet.
And then the dragons arrived.
It is 2 sentences. It's like 20 words.
But it gives you such a great description of the absolute chaos that has broken out around her.
Oh, yeah. Like, you can very clearly, with so few words, so few sentences, get an image of what the arena is looking like for Katniss at this moment. And I love that.
In the movie, I think this is one of the better done scenes of just Katniss waking up, seeing the fire coming at her, and her, like, just having, like, you really get a sense of Katniss's intelligence throughout the course of the earlier part of this event within the games, as we could call it. Because she's, you know...
I mean, next she is literally like...
I just follow the others. And by the others, she means the other woodland creatures. She sees rabbits, deer, a pack of wild dogs, deer, just taken off through the woods away from the fire. She's like, I know if I follow them, because their instincts are sharper than mine, I can get away from this.
Yeah. You know, and they are faster than her, which, like, even with her life of, like, going through the forest, it does make sense that she's being tripped up by, fallen branches and roots that protrude higher than she would think that they would. One, because
they're not her woods.
They're not her woods, but also she can't fucking see. There is smoke everywhere.
Yeah.
So, and also, she just woke up.
Yeah.
So, like, the smoke being everywhere, you know, her bleary-eyed, you know, whatever, I know she, like, woke up, like, immediately, but still,
there's still going to be some of that grogginess that kind of settles in, you know.
For at least 5 seconds, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's...
And we're maybe 4.5 into this, you know, event, again, as we'll call it.
Yeah. So, you know, it's very understandable. I think most people would be like, but doesn't she run through the forest, like, all the time? Like,
right. But again, you have to think about the circumstances, right? The woods are on fire. My woods are on fire. How about yours? No, our woods are not on fire. You know, she just fell, 10, 15, 20 feet from a tree?
Something like that.
You know, like, so she's probably a little sore.
Yeah.
Not as sore as she will be here shortly, but,
And then, like, it goes on, the heat is horrible, but worse than the heat is the smoke, which threatens to suffocate me at any moment. And it's like... Yeah, that's what it does. And not that she wouldn't know that with growing up where she grew up.
Right.
Like,
I mean, she even goes on to say in a little bit that, burn injuries are very common because all the fire that they produce is all produced with coal.
Yeah.
So it's a little, I don't want to say less controllable, but a little more unpredictable.
Yeah. But also then, she mentions that she pulls the top of her shirt up over her nose, grateful to find that it's soaked in sweat and offers a thin veil of protection.
And this is something that you can actually do. If you're ever caught in a building fire or a house fire or anything like that, if you can manage to get some form of fabric that will hold water and soak it in water, or like get the whatever cloth it is wet and then cover your face with it, it will help filter out the smoke. It's not a perfect cure-all for that instance, but it could buy you a few minutes to get to safety.
Yeah.
So that's an actual thing you can do.
Every moment you have in a situation like that is very precious.
Yeah.
So, but it's also, it shows that, she knows what the hell she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is she following the animals, but she knows that, her shirt, whether it was soaked in sweat or not, was going to provide a little protection.
More so, as a filter.
Exactly. More so with the sweat covering it, because now it's damp.
The moisture will help the moisture acts as like a secondary filter.
Yeah.
On top of whatever you're using to like cover your face.
But it shows to the audience that she is resourceful. She does know these things. She is very smart. And some of them are probably thinking, well, that makes sense. She comes from the coal district, She knows all about fire.
But Katniss Katniss takes off. She's running now. Like, she's in a full sprint at this point. Choking on the smoke. Her bag is banging against her back. Her face is cut up from branches that materialize from the gray haze without warning. Again, the smoke is incredibly thick.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming she's getting from here before she can see what's going on. But that doesn't leave a lot of reaction time.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's managing to dodge what she is still impressive. It shows her agility. It shows her reflexes. All of those things are important as a hunter, first and foremost. Because that is what she is.
Yeah.
Let's see. Because I know I am supposed to run. So she's like, again, she's still in that like sleepy haze. She's running because she knows she needs to be running right now. That is the only thing driving her, is her basest survival instinct.
Well, and I think not only just that, but also she knew that if she were to stay, it's not like the game makers wouldn't have any problem killing her off.
Oh, no. And when she goes on to say here in just a second, it says, "This is no tribute campfire gone out of control, no accidental occurrence. The flames that bear down on me have unnatural height, a uniformity that makes them human-made, machine-made, game-maker-made. Things have been too quiet today. No deaths, perhaps no fights at all. The audience at the Capitol will be getting bored, claiming that these games are verging on dullness. This is the one thing the game makers must not do."
The games must not do, but yeah.
Well, I mean, game makers even, because let's think about it, right? We know that the Capitol is not afraid to kill off people. I mean, look at what they do to children every year.
Yeah.
Right? So who's to say that the game makers' lives would not be in danger?
You saying that just reminds me of a line from one of the later books.
Who's to say that their lives wouldn't be in danger, though, were they to not... Entertain, yeah. I was going to say intervene. But entertain is actually a better word to use there.
She's like, it's not hard to follow the game maker's motivations. There's the career pact, and then there's the rest of us, probably spread far and thin across the arena. This fire is designed to flush us out, drive us together. It may not be the most original device I've seen, but it is very, very effective.
Right, and I bracketed this.
Right.
And it got me thinking.
Was that hard for you? I'm sorry.
Wow. It got me thinking, right? Now, we don't know what the rest of the rest of the arena looks like in this moment because this is a first-person story.
Right. And we've only seen so much of it through Katniss's eyes.
Right. But what if this is almost like the arena from the second one? So, like, the fire is contained within this area, and what it's doing is pushing Katniss towards the others and not trying to just... It's not a, you know, like Call of Duty Warzone ring of, like, gas that's pushing everybody towards a local area. What if it specifically started to push Katniss towards everybody else?
And I mean,
the fire would draw the career pack towards Katniss, yes, because they're gonna see flames in the sky and they're gonna like, there's somebody over there probably running from the fire. We can catch them off guard. Like, you know, they're quickly trying to strategize. But I think this is more about drawing Katniss out of her comfort zone than it is about drawing the tributes together.
I mean, and she does kind of go on in a little bit to say something kind of akin to that. So
I may have misinterpreted. You'll have to point it out when we get there.
But, you know, she's running through this forest. She jumps over a burning log, but it's not high enough. It catches the tail end of her jacket, and it catches on fire. So that's lovely.
Katniss Everdeen, the girl who was on fire.
Yeah, she goes on to say something about that too.
Yep, I know, and that's why I said it here, because it's funny.
You know, so she rips the jacket off, stamps out the flames, but she's like, I'm not gonna leave the jacket, you know.
I'll just shove it in my backpack and hope it doesn't reignite.
Well, she shoves it in the sleeping bag, but yeah, hoping that, like, whatever she hasn't stamped out, the lack of oxygen will quell it for the rest of it. But, you know, and she keeps going, you know, because, you know, she's like, this is all I have, what I carry on my back, and it's little enough to survive with. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah. You know, in a matter of... Katniss goes on to say or to think more so... that in a matter of minutes, my throat and nose are burning, the coughing begins soon after, and my lungs feel as if they're actually being cooked.
Because they are.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you gotta think, there's so much fire around her, so the heat is gotta be immense. You know, if we were to determine this in terms of, like, alarm fires, because they're, like, 3 separate degrees. You got first, second, and third. Oh, like, first, yeah, I want to say it's first, second, and third. Somebody, if you're a firefighter or something like that, let us know for sure in the comments. But like a third alarm fire is structurally...
Excuse me.
Like, if a house is a third alarm fire, there's no saving that house.
Yeah.
It is going to be burned probably down to the studs, if not just to a pile of ash. And that's basically what's going on here in the woods.
Right.
Is like a third alarm fire. So yeah, like her lungs are being cooked, and actually really what is they're being smoked. Somebody wants smoked lung for breakfast.
Yummy.
So the discomfort turns into distress until each breath sends searing pain through my chest. So yeah, like the smoke is definitely beginning the process of poisoning Katniss.
Yeah. I think maybe not all of us, but most of us have probably stood a little too close to a campfire, and then the wind shifted direction and it blows it right in your face, and
as you're inhaling, yeah. Katniss manages to take cover under a stone outcropping just as the vomiting begins.
Yeah.
She loses her meager supper and whatever water she has left in her stomach.
Yeah.
At this point, she's just on all fours.
Yeah, she's just retching. Until there's nothing left.
Which we've all been.
Oh God,
we've all been there.
I hate
and it
even
is
thinking about it
because it's so painful.
Yeah.
Like, just because, like, you know there's nothing left in your stomach, but your body just won't stop.
Yeah, and it's like you're kind of fucking convulsing.
Yeah, well, I mean, She does make a comment about convulsing here shortly, I do believe. Um,
Because it's like, anyway, so she gives herself 1 minute to rest.
yeah, so there are specific moments, and this is part of the reason why the books did not translate well, or as well as we would have hoped, to the silver screen. This is because there are a lot of moments, especially like these here, where Katniss is like, you get 1 minute to rest. These lines are italicized. That is explicitly stating this is what she's thinking. It's not thought expletive, but it's a direct thought of Katniss Everdeen, right? It's like, you know,
Well,
she's
and
like...
it's also, like, sometimes, you know, it's like there's thinking, and it's like she's thinking these things in general, but these lines are specifically to herself. I mean, she's like, oh, you've got 1 minute. I tell myself 1 minute to rest.
Right, and that's, I'm saying, like, they're these italicized lines of wording here, like, you get 1 minute, 1 minute of rest. And they are spoken to herself in a way that the rest, you know, when she goes, I know I need to get it, or she's like, I know I need to keep moving, right? That's a thought, but it's a descriptive thought. It's being used to help further the internal, like, to further the plot of the story, where these are direct thoughts to herself.
Yeah.
Like, these are things she's saying to herself in her head, and you lose a lot of that in the on-screen adaptation.
It's like...
So the story doesn't always flow the way it should. And I think that's what a lot of people have issue with these movies, is that a lot of these little moments that are really, really important, especially as we get further through the series, there are a lot of more of those internal, like, monologues like this, right?
Yeah.
And that get lost because there's no good way for a live action adaptation to depict those internal thoughts. If it was like an anime or a cartoon or something like that, you could just do it as voiceover.
And I honestly think that there is a way for, like, conventional movies to still do it as voiceover. And so it's like Katniss is having all these thoughts running through the forest, you know, they could have had her, like, sit there and record the thoughts, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's something that could be done. I would love to see it if they were to ever
I said conventional media, and I meant live action.
Right. If they were to ever redo these films, you know, with different, you know, cast or whatever, 20 years in the future, I would like to see them at least try to do that, because it would help so much with the world itself. Because it's not that the Hunger Games movies are overtly bad movies. It is the biggest problem that I have with them, and I think you'll agree with this, is that a lot of the minutia gets lost because that isn't there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the forward movement within the plot happens within Katniss's own head.
Yeah.
And we don't have that within the movie. You have to... It's all done via context clues, which is fine. But with scenes like this, and again, I still agree with what I stated earlier, that this is one of the better done scenes in the movie.
I honestly don't remember it very much. I remember it a little, but...
I actually saw it on TikTok, like, a month ago.
But, like, I haven't seen the movie since, like, the 8th grade when it came out.
And I have rewatched the entire series start to finish on Netflix some odd month, or probably about 8 months ago or so. So, like, I have a bit of a memory of a recent memory of them, but I would like to see that done, even if they were just to take what they've already filmed and have Jennifer Lawrence come back into the studio and just do the voiceover for, like, the scenes like this, would change the movies as they stand currently immensely.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't really, I mean, it would probably cost a lot to bring her in and do all the recording for stuff, but it would change the tone of the movies for the better.
So
I think would be beneficial.
You saying it would probably cost a lot to have her come in and do that, but it made me think of the one episode of Steven Universe with what's Garnet and Pearl's fusion.
Sardonyx.
Yeah, with Sardonyx, and they're in there with
Smokey.
and they've got the Sugalite thing, and it was like, oh, you know, we're still gonna have to pay her. She's not actually here, you know.
Right.
But it's a voice line for Sugalite, which, if you don't know, Sugalite is voiced by Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, which, you know, that was a really good joke that they did.
Oh, yeah. So you saying that just made me think.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So Katniss she's, you know, in that minute, she reorganizes everything. She gets her sleeping bag into her backpack, gets her backpack on. She's like, all right, that's it. That's my 1 minute.
Yeah.
She starts planning out, okay, what should I do here, right? She's like, I'm definitely in a new part of the woods. You know, there's nothing like this back from where I have just come from.
Yeah, like maybe the giant rock that she shielded.
Sheltering under or behind.
There were no giant rocks in the other part, so
no.
She's like,
I'm definitely in a new section of the woods here. Yeah. I'm in a new section of the arena. And she's like, well, maybe, just maybe, hold on, my leg itches.
Wow.
Maybe, just maybe, I can make my way back to that lake. I just found a source of water. You know, let me see if I can, you know, circumnavigate the fire, and make my way back.
Yeah.
And
she's like,
just then, just as she's thinking this, she's like, maybe I can make my way back. And then the game makers are like, nah, keep going, because they just start launching fireballs at her like they're the fucking Fire Nation.
Yeah. I've just decided to try and loop back around, although it will require miles of travel away from the Inferno, and then a very circuitous route back when the first fireball blasts into the rock about 2 feet from my head.
Yeah, and like,
I sprang out from under,
not a large distance.
Under my ledge, energized by renewed fear.
Yeah.
It's like, wouldn't we all?
Yeah, Katniss is like, nope, gotta keep moving. The game has taken a twist. Yes, it has, Katniss Everdeen. Yes, it has.
Yeah, because I felt like the game makers could kind of hear her thought from the previous page, where it was like, it may not be the most original device I've seen, but it's very, very effective.
Right.
You know, she was like, oh, 4 is fire? Wow. And now they're like, fireball. Fireball. It's like, she's in a cave.
I don't care how big the room is. I cast fireball.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm surprised I didn't think about that joke when I was reading through this earlier.
That's fair.
But
here.
It's always better when it happens naturally.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Katniss is like, she's kind of just standing there, right? She's like, the fire was just to get us moving. Now the audience will get to see some real fun. When I hear the next hiss, I flatten on the ground, not taking time to look. So Katniss,
she's not just standing there. She got up and she ran.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, she hasn't started implicating evasive maneuvers.
I mean, she literally just said that she did. I
meant before this, like, she got up and started taking off from the fireball that landed 2 feet, and then she hears this one. In between there, she's just running. She's, you know, very basic evasive maneuvers.
Right, but the way you said she's just standing there was like, she's just like, it's a bit warm.
I might need to turn on the AC.
Yeah.
You know, which is funny because of what she says to Kato in just a little bit.
Yeah.
When Kato actually gets name dropped for the first time.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Shh.
But she just right to the ground. She's like, nope. And she even says, to remain still is death. I'm barely on my feet before the third ball hits the ground where I was laying. Like, they are aiming these things at one Katniss Everdeen.
Yeah. Sending a pillar of fire up behind me.
What's Katniss's middle name?
I don't know if Katniss has a middle name.
I'm gonna say it's like Jade.
Katniss Jade Everdeen?
Yeah.
Is it because it's a color?
Yes. Which some people watching this will understand, and they'll get that, and they'll be like, it's probably not Jade, but if she does have a middle name, it's definitely a color.
Yeah.
Which is something we'll get to way later.
Anyway, let's get back to where we are now, dodging fireballs. Time loses meaning now as I frantically dodge the attacks. I can't
dodge.
I can't see where they're being launched from, but it's not a hovercraft. The angles are not extreme enough. Probably this whole segment of the woods have been armed with precision launchers that are concealed in trees or rocks. Somewhere in a cool, spotless room, a game maker sits at a set of controls, fingers on the trigger, that could end my life in a second. All that is needed is a direct hit.
And I love this little passage here, right? Like, because you're really getting a sense of Katniss's intuition. You're getting a sense of Katniss's, how she breaks down her problems in the heat of the moment, right? Mm-hmm. She's like, okay, guarantee you, not a hovercraft, right? She's like, the angles aren't steep enough. They're not sharp enough. This is all like happening in her head as she's running for her life. So she's determined, one, that the fireballs are coming from somewhere within the woods. And she's also determined that there is definitely a game maker behind this, right? That they're not using some fancy computer to do this. There's somebody trained to launch these at her. But I also love...
It very well could just be an assumption on Katniss's part, because we don't know if they ever get a look into, the game maker's,
den.
Well, I was gonna say, get a look into the game makers, doing stuff in the arena.
Right. But I also love the comment of a cool... spotless room, right? It's
because the fire. It's
fire,
hot.
Right? There's somebody sitting in a nice air-conditioned space, just lobbing fireballs at the tributes.
Yeah.
It's the Oprah Winfrey of fireballs. You get a fireball. You get a fireball. You get a fireball. Fireball. Da 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 da.
Get out.
This is my room.
There's the window.
I'm not climbing out the window.
We jumped out the window.
But anyway.
Yeah, so, she's
it's
whatever plan that she had conceived before is not gonna happen. She doesn't even think about it.
It's out the window with Baymax.
Yeah. Every sense I have goes into overdrive as the need to survive takes over. There's no time to judge if a move is the correct one. When there's a hiss, I act or die.
Yep, and that's all she's got time for.
Oh yeah, there's no time for literally anything else. It's
is the hiss the fireball flying through the air, or is it the sound of it being launched? I would say probably more flying through the air, and that's the way it's depicted in the movies, is that, flying through the air.
Yeah. Because it's not just a ball of fire. Something is on fire, and it is being launched.
And we actually get a brief description of the size of them here in just a minute, actually. Yeah. Katniss, something keeps me moving forward. Though a lifetime of watching the Hunger Games lets me know that certain areas of the arena are rigged for certain attacks.
I did not like the way you read that. Because you said something keeps me moving forward, though a lifetime... But though is part of the previous sentence.
Oh, yeah, I was just, reading it. I wasn't paying attention to the punctuation there. Anyway, so certain areas of the arena are rigged for specific attacks, and that they can't, that if I can get away from this section, I might be able to move out of reach of the launchers. I might also then fall straight into a pit of vipers, but I can't worry about that now.
Which is just a hilarious thought to me.
Yeah.
she, goes on scrambling more fireballs, yeah. Scrambling along, dodging the fireballs, and she can't say for how long, though we'll get to that in a bit.
Okay.
But the attacks finally abate, which is good because I'm retching again. This time it's an acidic substance that scalds my throat and makes its way into my nose as well.
Yeah. I can feel the pain of that. Of just straight stomach acid. Because that's what it is. It's just straight stomach acid.
Yeah.
At this point. Because Katniss has thrown up everything else. And stomach acid replenishes itself rather quickly. So Katniss is struggling right now.
Oh, yeah. This is where she says convulses.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm forced to stop as my body convulses, trying desperately to rid itself of the poisons I've been sucking in during the attack. I wait for the next hiss, for the next signal to bolt. It doesn't come. The force of the retching has squeezed tears out of my stinging eyes. We've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
My clothes are drenched in sweat. Somehow, through the smoke and vomit, I pick up the scent of singed hair. Oh no.
Yep.
My hand fumbles to my braid and finds a fireball has seared off at least 6 inches of it. And that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of hair. Because Katniss has a lot of hair.
Yeah.
And 6 inches isn't a lot distance-wise or length-wise. But think about how much hair can be sitting in a 6-inch patch. Or, section.
I mean, and it's braided, so it's all clumped together,
yeah.
So, poor hair.
Yep, strands of blackened hair crumble in my fingers. I stare at them, fascinated by the transformation when the hissing registers. My muscles react, only not fast enough this time. The fireball crashes into the ground at my side, but not before it skids across my right calf. Seeing my pants leg on fire sends me over the edge. I twist and scuttle backwards on my hands and feet, shrieking, trying to remove myself from the horror. When I finally regain enough sense, I roll the leg back and forth on the ground, which stifles the worst of it. But then, without thinking, I rip away the remaining fabric with my bare hands. So, Katniss got comfortable. She got too comfortable. She knew she shouldn't, but she did it anyway.
I don't necessarily think that she got comfortable, especially considering in the paragraph before she's saying her body is convulsing.
I mean, yes. I don't mean comfortable as in, oh, let me just take a break here. But she let her, because I know that she was dealing with the vomiting again and the convulsions from the lack of oxygen and all that. But for that split second, her brain wasn't focused on the task at hand. And she paid for it.
Yeah.
She was like, I gotta stay focused. I need to keep moving. That broke, even just for the, maybe 40, 45 seconds that this was, it was too long. And, she paid for it.
Okay. I was making sure that the mic wasn't picking up Shaggy
the cat,
screaming in the background.
But she sits on the ground just a few yards from the blaze set off by the fireball, her calf screaming and her hands covered in red welts. That's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
So she's
burned my hand before.
She's having a very rough moment here.
Not that bad though. I'm shaking too hard to move. If the game makers want to finish me off, now is the time. I hear Senna's voice carrying images of rich fabric and sparkling gems. Katniss, the girl who was on fire. What a good laugh the game makers must be having over this one. Perhaps Senna's beautiful costumes have even brought on this particular torture for me. I know he couldn't have foreseen this, must be hurting for me, because, in fact, I believe he cares about me. But... I'm sorry. The screaming got closer. But all in all, maybe showing up stark naked in that chariot would have been far safer for me.
doubtful.
Yeah.
The attack is now over. The game makers don't want me dead. Not yet, anyway. Everyone knows they could destroy us all within seconds of the opening gong. The real sport of the Hunger Games is watching the tributes kill one another. So, or every so often, they do kill a tribute just to remind the players that they can. But mostly, they manipulate us into confronting one another face to face, which means, if I'm no longer being fired at, there's at least one other tribute close at hand.
Yeah. And she thinks about how she would drag herself into a tree and take cover, but the smoke is still very thick, and it's gonna rise, with the heat and all that. So climbing up really
and I'm
wouldn't.
honestly surprised it doesn't last. The smoke blanket, as it were. I'm surprised it doesn't last longer because she's in dense forest.
Yeah.
So the canopy would be holding quite a bit of that.
Yeah.
So for the fact that it dissipates at a semi... I wouldn't say reasonable, but a semi... the fact that it dissipates at all within the amount of time that passes is kind of wild to me.
But you also have to think that the game makers are probably doing that.
I mean, yeah, they could very well just turn on some kind of unheard, unseen vacuum cleaner that just...
But, the smoke is still thick enough to kill her. But she makes herself stand and limp away from the wall of fire that lights up the sky. It does not seem to be pursuing me any longer, except with its stinking black clouds. Another daylight, begins to softly emerge. Swirls of smoke catch the sunbeams. So this is what I wanted to say earlier. So she, burrows into her blanket, her sleeping bag, and goes to sleep after the tribute death announcements. So that happens, once it's like full dark. So it's like 8 or 9.
Right.
Assuming that the day cycles in the games work how they do here, especially with this being in the middle of summer, it's probably like 9, closer to 10 by the time it's full dark.
Right.
So it's now dawn. She said she slept for a few hours. Where is it? I don't remember exactly where, and I don't feel like looking for it. But, she got a few hours of sleep. In the tree. So, I'd say, like, 4 hours at the most.
Give or take, yeah.
Like, from 10, that's what, 2 a.m.?
About there, yeah.
Okay, and sunrise is, like...
presumably 7, if it's midsummer on the East Coast. Well, they're not on the East Coast. They're somewhere near the capital, which is on the West Coast.
We don't know how close to the capital they are, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't a long drive, and we know that the hovercrafts, although quick, aren't that quick.
I don't know. But,
she was still running for her life for at least 2 hours. 3, or at least 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like, through a massive section of this forest.
Yeah. And she had 2 breaks. One was for approximately a minute, she wasn't counting it out, And then the next one, you know, is when she's retching and then she gets hit by the fireball.
Right.
You know? And so it's like she has been running for hours, presumably, you know, and it's like, damn, just...
And Matt is under the presumption that this was, say, 9, 10 o'clock at night. It could have been later.
It could have been later.
No,
and
but I would think
also
probably
the
not.
sun cycles might not work the same as they do in real life.
I'm almost curious because daytime seems to last longer in the arena, almost. And I don't know if it's because Katniss, you know, sleeps because she needs to sleep.
Right.
But it doesn't always seem like it's night that long.
I think...
Like, they're doing shorter... I mean, like, I'm not saying that, you know, it's like a 4-hour night cycle, but they almost definitely seem shorter as a way to weed out... Like, to make sure that fatigue is a
big part of the tribute's lives.
Yeah.
It very well could be the case. But I think from things that Katniss says later is like what, or like has said so far, is what makes me think that like the sun cycle in the arena matches our own.
Right, and I know that for a fact in the second book that it does, because of how the arena's set up in the second book.
Yeah.
That follows a 24-hour day, you know, 12-hour day-night cycle. But, and this very well could, that's just kind of speculation on my part.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a lot. I imagine it's also probably a lot easier to describe daytime events because things are active and moving more during the day than at night. That includes the tributes themselves.
Yeah.
So it could just be the fact that, you know, there are time skips between, you know, that she could be sleeping longer than we're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
As well. So just as a way to progress to the next day of the games.
Well, and also you have to remember her first night in the arena. This is her second night in the arena. Her first night in the arena, she is woken up before dawn again by the tribute breaking the sticks to make the fire.
Right. And
she stays awake at whatever, you know, she judges it to be a few hours before dawn. Mm-hmm. So if dawn is at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, well, in the summer, it's like 6 or 5.
Starting, 6. Sunrise starts at about, or dawn starts at about 6. Sunrise not till closer to 6:30, 6:45.
So, you know, a few hours before would be anywhere like 3 or 4 to, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So she is there laying in the tree for hours awake.
Yeah.
And like nothing's happening for most of that until probably the last like 30 minutes before dawn.
Mm-hmm.
When, you know, the careers show up. Because I don't think that scene takes all that much time. You know, as they go, Cato stabs the girl.
Peeta goes and stabs the girl.
Originally, Cato is the one who stabs the girl. Remember?
Oh,
I know where I cut her.
Yeah, okay. I'm thinking you're talking about when Peeta walks off screen.
No. You know, stabs the girl, they walk off this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, they stop and they're like, shouldn't we have heard a cannon by now?
Right.
You know, Peeta goes back, kills her. There's talking the entire time that he's gone. And it's only a couple lines of dialogue, so you can assume that it didn't take them that long, especially considering it was a back and forth.
Right.
So, it's like, oh, I bet you everybody knows. Oh, he comes back, and then they continue on. So that
entire interaction takes place over the course of maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean,
maybe.
And including, because I don't think they kill the girl immediately.
No, because Kato's a sociopath.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't take any more than 30 minutes at most.
Right, and that's really pushing it, honestly.
Yeah. I don't remember where I was going with that, but... yeah. But anyway...
Oh, I think you were talking about how the fact that the sun was barely up by the time she climbed down out of the tree.
Oh, yeah, it had, just,
really started...
broke over the horizon.
Yeah, it's really just started its ascent into the sky.
Yeah, so... I assume that is what is one of the things that helps me assume that the sun cycle in the arena at this arena works the same as our sun cycles do.
Yeah.
Anyway, my visibility is poor. I can see maybe 15 yards in any direction, which
again is just a great example of how thick the smoke is.
Yeah. If you're not from, if you don't understand the freedom units, translate it into your own, I don't know.
What?
Because, yards and feet and...
Oh, yeah.
They don't... That's the freedom units.
I was like, what are you talking about?
It's okay. They understood.
Yeah, which is funny because I was reading along with you when you said it, too.
Anyway,
A tribute could easily be concealed from me here. So, there's so much smoke around Katniss at this point that there could be somebody anywhere. Yeah. And in fact, there is. We don't know this yet, but you could infer that a specific character has already showed up.
Interesting.
You know who I'm talking about.
I should draw my knife as a precaution, but I doubt my ability to hold on to it for long. The pain in my hands can in no way compete with that in my calf. That sentence felt weird to me.
Yeah, no, I get you.
It was like the pain in my hands can in no way compete with that in my calves, though. I feel like though belongs right there at the end of that sentence.
Katniss is like, I hate burns. Always have. Even a small burn, or even a small one gotten from pulling a pan of bread from the oven. It is the worst kind of pain to me. Katniss does not like getting burned. Now, to be fair, as somebody who has worked in a kitchen for the last decade, it sucks. It getting burned is honestly one of the
low lights.
Yeah, of working in a kitchen.
Yeah.
So yeah, Katniss doesn't like getting burns. I also don't like getting burns.
No. She's like, I'm so weary. I don't even notice I'm in a pool until I'm ankle deep. And it's like, damn. But it's also not surprising. She was woken up abruptly. She didn't get that much sleep, and she hasn't since being in the arena.
She's presumably been running for 3 hours minimum.
Yeah. So, and that with all the smoke inhalation.
Yeah.
She needs a nap.
She's borderline delirious at this point.
Yeah.
The pool is spring-fed, which makes it's interesting because spring-fed's the water is usually rather clean. Because it's a natural spring. Spring water is typically, you could go to a natural spring if you can find a clear area that does not have a lot of fish or things, somewhere usually near the mouth. Usually you could drink that water fresh off, but she purifies it even. It's probably a precaution because the water could be the game makers can make it where it's not pure fresh spring water.
But she plunges her hands into the water and is thankful for its coolness, because if any of you have ever been to a spring, you know that water comes out ice cold.
Yeah.
Even in the middle of summer, it's like the best time to go to a spring. I miss Rock Springs.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
The first treatment, Katniss is thinking back to something that her mother said. She's like, the first treatment for a burn is cold water, that it draws out the heat. But she means minor burns. Probably she'd recommend it for my hands, but what of my calf? Although I have not yet had the courage to examine it, I'm guessing that it's an injury in a whole different class.
Oh, yeah. I lie on my stomach at the edge of the pool for a while, dangling my hands in the water, examining the little flames on my fingernails that are beginning to chip off. Good, I've had enough fire for a lifetime. Which is fair. You know, and then she like washes her face off and stuff, and
is attempting to recall the information she has learned from her mother about how to treat burn wounds.
Yeah. So, because they're a very common thing in the same.
Yep. Where they cook and heat their homes with coal, and then there's the
mine accidents. A family once brought in an unconscious young man, pleading with my mother to help him. The district doctor, who's responsible for treating the miners, had written him off, told the family to take him home to die. But they wouldn't accept this. He lay on our kitchen table, senseless to the world. I got a glimpse of the wound on his thigh, gaping, charred flesh, burned clear down to the bone, before I ran from the house. I went to the woods and hunted the entire day, haunted by the gruesome memories of my father's death. What's funny was Prim, who was scared of her own shadow, stayed to help. My mother says healers are born, not made. They did their best, but the man died, just like the doctor said he would. And that is, it's a very sad story because the man dies, but it's also like a little, because it's like, I've had bad burns before.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like that though.
Mm-mm.
I've had a bad cut like that. When I had my cut here on my finger, I could see the bone. I definitely should have gotten stitches, but I didn't. Don't be like me. Go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Especially considering this was a time where I still had health insurance. So I definitely could have gone to the hospital. Anyway.
Katniss is like, what if my leg is as bad as that guy's? Like, what if I can see my bone?
Then I remember my mother saying that if a burn's severe, the victim might not even feel the pain because the nerves would be destroyed.
Encouraged by this, I sit up and swing my leg in front of me.
I almost faint at the sight of my calf.
The flesh is a brilliant red covered with blisters. I force myself to take deep, slow breaths, feeling quite certain the cameras are on my face. I can't show weakness at this injury, not if I want help.
Yeah. Pity doesn't get you aid. Admiration at your refusal to give in does. But she looks at it, her face
blanches.
Yeah. Sorry. I hate you. Stop it. Not that. But a single tear runs down my face. I'm sorry, just the way you went. It just made me think of that. Anyway, you know, if she had anything left in her stomach to throw up, she would have been trying to keep it down at this moment.
Right. Let's see. Katniss then goes on to cut the remains of the pant leg off at the knee and examine the injury closely. The burned area is about the size of her hand. None of the skin is blackened, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing.
Oh, yeah. She thinks it's not too bad to soak.
So she gingerly stretches out her leg into the pool, propping the heel of her foot on a rock so the leather doesn't get too sodden.
And this is a thing that, especially in the movie, like people who have read the book, or not so much read the book, who know about leather, you know, all of the tributes have the same outfit. So
right.
She's not the only one with leather boots. But there were times where like she is like running through water, with her shoes on, and the other tributes are running through water with their shoes on, and I've seen people be like, that's just not realistic, like, because the water would mess up your leather boots. And it's like, yes, and she knows that, and she does like point out that, you know, she doesn't want to ruin the leather, you know, here in the book, but
right.
Also there are times where she just can't help it. She doesn't have time to take her shoes off before she goes darting through water,
right,
you know? Or, like, when she walked up into this pond, she didn't even realize that she was in it until she was ankle deep.
Right, and even later when they're in the cave, she makes, like, an express mention of taking off her boots before wading out into the water.
Yeah.
As to not ruin her boots. So, like, Katniss is well aware of the effects that leather has on water. Water has on leather.
Anyway, so, you know, she props up her foot and she's got her leg in the water. And she sighs, because this does offer some relief. I know there are herbs, if I could find them, that would speed the healing, but I can't quite call them to mind. Water and time will probably be all I have to work with.
Yeah.
And probably.
Katniss is like, should I be moving on? Probably. You probably should, Katniss.
Yeah. Probably.
I'm talking to you, Katniss, directly. You should probably get your ass up and move. But, alas, the smoke is slowly clearing, but it's still too heavy to be healthy. She's like, if I do continue away from the fire, won't I be walking into the weapons of the careers? Besides, every time I lift my leg from the water, the pain rebounds so intensely I have to slide it back in. So Katniss is like, I should be moving on. I know I need to, but
I'm in so much pain.
I'm in a very dire situation. My leg is tore up. Like, I'm in pain. The only thing keeping me from going crazy right now is this water.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm just gonna.
She decides to stay, you know, but her hands are less demanding, as she puts it, so they can handle breaks from the water. And with that time, she slowly puts her gear back in order.
Yep, gets some water and treats it, begins to rehydrate, starts nibbling on a cracker.
You know, to help settle her stomach, which at this point she definitely needs.
Rolls up her sleeping bag, which, other than some black marks, like some scorching, it's relatively unscathed. Some minor scorching. Yeah.
Her jacket, on the other hand, is another matter. You know, it's stinking and scorched.
And at least a foot of the back is beyond repair. So she just kind of invents, you know, the tank top jacket.
The crop top jacket.
Yeah.
Not the tank top jacket.
Yeah. Which are all the rage sometimes.
You know, because she heads off the damaged area, and it leaves her with A garment that comes just to the bottom of my ribs, but the hood's intact and it's far better than nothing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Especially for the incredibly cold nights that are about to come to descend upon
if we've
her.
already seen that the nights get fairly chilly, especially with the first night,
Right, but it's just they're gonna mess with the thermostat a little there.
Oh, don't let the dads in. Despite the pain, drowsiness begins to take over.
Let's be honest, if you put a bunch of just like southern dads in the arena, no one would die. The game makers would have to intentionally start, because southern dads would just be like, all right, so here's what we need to do to get the hell out of this, and they'd start working together to try to get out alive.
Oh, especially if they started touching the thermostat.
Yeah.
Anyway. I feel this is like when you are in that much pain, your body is, fighting so hard to like deal with the pain.
That you're exhausted.
Yeah. So, yeah, despite the pain, drowsiness begins to take over. I'd take to a tree and rest, and try to rest, except it'd be too easy to spot. Besides, abandoning my pool seems impossible. I neatly arrange my supplies, even settle my pack on my shoulders, but I can't seem to leave. I spot some water plants with edible roots and make a small meal with my last piece of rabbit. Sip water. Watch the sun make its slow arc across the sky. Where would I go anyway that is any safer than here? I lean back on my pack, overcome by drowsiness. If the careers want me, let them find me, I think, before drifting into a stupor. Let them find me. And find me they do.
Yeah, and it was like just moments later. Now, I say moments later. It's an exaggerative there for sure. It's lucky that I'm ready to move on, because when I hear the feet, I have less than a minute head start. Evening has begun to fall, so she's gotten a couple of hours.
Begun.
What did I say?
Begin.
Oh, well. The moment I awake, I am up and running, splashing across the pool. Again, she knows what it'll do to the leather on her shoes, so she's just running for her life.
Yeah. There's no time to think about the shoes.
Right. Flying into the underbrush, my leg slows me down, but I sense my pursuers are not as speedy as they were before the fire either. So, it's possible that the entire arena was probably just on fire.
No, I doubt that.
Or at least they were within an area.
Yeah.
But I still don't think it was like a circular ring of fire drawing everybody in.
Well, no, and she doesn't say that it is a circular ring of fire.
She wouldn't know that anyway.
No, she wouldn't. But she just assumes that it is the path is set to draw the tributes closer together. I hear their coughs, their raspy voice calling out to one another. Still, they're closing in, just like a pack of wild dogs, and so I do what I've done my whole life in such stances. I pick a high tree and begin to climb. If running hurt, climbing is agonizing, because it requires not only exertion, but direct contact of my hands on the tree bark, which, feels rough in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, that just...
Yeah. Katniss is like, I'm fast enough, though. And by the time they've reached the base of the trunk, I'm about 20 feet up. For a moment, we stop and survey each other. I hope they can't hear the pounding of my heart. This could be it, I think. What chance do I have against them? All 6 are there. The 5 careers and Peeta. And my only consolation is that they're pretty beat up, too. Even so, look at their weapons. Look at their faces grinning and snarling up at me. A sure kill above them. They seem pretty, it seems pretty hopeless, but then something registers. They're bigger and stronger than I am, no doubt. But they're also heavier. There's a reason it's me and not Gale who ventures up to pluck the highest fruit, or rob the most remote bird nests. I must weigh at least 50 or 60 pounds less than the smallest career. Now I smile. How's everything with you? I call down cheerfully, and I underline that, and I wrote underneath it, I'm like, snarky.
Right.
Because it's a very snarky moment from Katniss here.
This takes them aback, but I know the crowd will love it. Well enough, says the boy from District 2. Yourself?
It's been a bit warm for my taste, I say. I can almost hear the laughter from the Capitol. The air's better up here. Why don't you come up?
Think I will, says the same boy. Here, take this, Cato. The first time we actually get Cato's name, even though we've said it like a dozen times.
At least.
Says the girl from District 1, and she offers him the silver bow and sheath of arrows. My bow! My arrows! Just the sight of them makes me so angry I want to scream at myself, at that traitor Peeta for distracting me from having them. I try to make eye contact with him now, but he seems to be intentionally avoiding my gaze as he polishes his knife on the edge of his shirt.
Yeah. It's like when you know someone's mad at you and you're just like,
Yeah.
I'm not looking at you. Nope, not doing it.
No, says Cato, pushing away the bow. I'll do better with my sword. I can see the weapon, a short, heavy blade at his belt. I give Cato time to hoist himself into the tree before I begin to climb again. Gale always says I remind him of a squirrel, the way I can scurry up even the slenderest limbs. Part of it is my weight, but part of it is practice. You have to know where to place your hands and feet. I'm another 30 feet in the air when I hear the crack and look down to see Cato flailing as he and a branch go down. He hits the ground hard, and I'm hoping he's possibly broke his neck when he gets back to his feet, swearing like a fiend. I just think he's just like, please be dead, please be dead. Dang it.
Right. The girl with the arrows, Glimmer, I hear someone call her. Ugh. The name the people in District 1 give their children is so ridiculous. Anyway, it's like, her name's dumb. Anyway, Glimmer scales the tree until the branches begin to crack under her feet, and then has the good sense to stop. I'm at least 80 feet high now. She tries to shoot me down, and it's immediately...
Shoot at me. To shoot me, not shoot me down.
Oh, same thing, really.
Well, yeah.
It's immediately evident that she's incompetent with a bow. One of the arrows gets lodged in the tree near me, though... and I'm able to seize it. I wave it teasingly above her head as if this was the sole purpose of retrieving it. When actually, I mean to use it. If I ever get the chance, I could kill them, every one of them.
No, you gotta stop reading through the periods, my guy.
I stopped.
No, you said, you were like, when I actually mean to use it if I get the chance, I could kill them. No, it's like, stop. Because, like, that sentence is like, I could kill them, every one of them, if those silver weapons were in my hands.
Do.
Yeah, it's a very dramatic sentence, and you were just kind of breezing by.
You know how I feel?
The careers regroup, and I can hear them growling conspiratorially amongst themselves. Furious, I have made them look foolish, but twilight has arrived and their window of attack on me is closing. Finally, I hear Peeta say harshly, "Oh, let her stay up there. It's not like she's going anywhere. We'll deal with her in the morning."
Well, he's right.
He's right about one thing. I'm going nowhere.
All of the relief from the pool water has now evaporated.
Vacated the premises.
There we go. Leaving me to feel the full potency of my burns. I scoot down to a fork in the tree and clumsily prepare for bed. I put on my jacket, lay out my sleeping bed. belt myself in, and tried to keep from moaning. The heat of the bag is too much for my leg. I cut a slash in the fabric and hang my calf out in the open air. And it's like, we all do this with our blankets.
Yeah. We don't
we don't cut slashes
in our
into the blankets,
but we do stick the leg out.
Yeah. She pours some water on
her leg wound and her hands.
Yeah.
And when I was reading through this, before we started recording, it just made me think, like, just imagine being the careers down there, and just all of a sudden, she pissing on us. Anyway, all my bravado is gone. I'm weak from pain and hunger, but can't bring myself to eat. Even if I can last the night, what will the morning bring? I stare into the foliage, trying to will myself to rest, but the burns forbid it. Birds are settling down for the night, singing lullabies to their young. Night creatures emerge. An owl hoots. The faint scent of a skunk cuts through the smoke. Somebody's smoking. Never mind. The eyes of some animal appear at me from the neighboring tree. A possum, maybe, catching the light from the courier's torches. Suddenly, I'm up on an elbow. Those are no possum's eyes. I know their glassy reflection too well. In fact, those are not animal eyes at all. In the last dim rays of light, I make her out, watching me silently from between the branches. Rue. How long has she been here? My voice decided to cut out.
Yeah, I noticed.
The whole time, probably, is still and unobserved as the action unfolded beneath her. Perhaps she headed up the tree shortly before I did, hearing the pack was so close. For a while, we hold each other's gaze. Then, without even rustling a leaf, her little hand slides into the open and points to something above my head.
Oh.
And then the Fire Nation attacked. Oh, wait, no, sorry. That was at the beginning of the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of this chapter.
Yeah, and it's the start of the next chapter. My eyes follow the line of her finger up into the foliage above me, and then the Fire Nation attacked. It's like, yeah.
You got it, man.
Street smarts.
I feel like this chapter was both, like, uneventful and super eventful. Uneventful in the way of, like, it is mostly just Katniss. Mm-hmm. There's not a whole lot of scenes with other characters.
Right.
But also, she spent most of the chapter being chased down by a wall of fire and having fireballs launched at her. I hate you. Excuse me. I hate you.
Oh, come on. It's a good joke. It's a great joke, even. Oh, look, a strawberry.
Hey, look, a strawberry. Anyway.
Guys, we are sorry.
No, he might be. I'm not. But, you know, so it's very eventful because it's a very...
Of what takes place.
But, like, also, like...
You don't see anyone else until the very end of the chapter.
Yeah, it's mostly, like, a solitary thing that she's going through.
Yeah.
Though we know that at least the careers were near enough to the fire to be affected by it. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, their coughs and raspy voices and they're moving slower, so it's probably not just because of the smoke inhalation, but they've probably also been burned. You know, we can assume that they have been. But yeah, that's the end of the chapter.
Yeah. It's a crazy chapter when you sit down and, like, we were breaking it down, right? Like, presumably, you know, she settles into sleep after you know, the No Dead tributes and all that, and she settles in after the anthem and the sky goes back to its, you know, usual darkness, and then sleeps at most 4 to 5 hours, and then is running for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And then just as the first rays of, you know, just as, you know, she finally finds a pool, is, like, resting, getting a little bit more sleep, and then boom.
Yeah.
The entire career pack has descended upon thee. Runneth for thine life.
She gets to the pool, you know, like, a little after dawn.
Yeah.
And, you know, she says that she spends time watch the sun make its slow arc across the sky. So I assume that it was probably, like, just after noon, maybe, or, you know, from dawn to, like, you know, noon, maybe, at the most. And then she falls asleep, and she's sleeping for a couple of hours, and then, you know, wakes up
to the careers descending upon her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's at dusk, you know. Yeah. And find me they do. It's lucky I'm ready to move, because when I hear their feet of us, and evening has begun to fall.
Yeah, so this is, you know, 6:30ish in the evening.
Yeah.
You know,
She gets her presumably a decent little rest.
Yeah.
You know.
So, I mean, there's not a lot to unpack in this chapter, because it's all
very
laid out and laid out and explained. But oh boy, this next chapter.
Oh boy.
I am so glad this is a fictional book and these are fictional wasps.
Oh yeah, but we'll get to that.
Because the next
episode.
These things are terrifying.
Sorry. Yeah, no, they are, and I can't wait to dive into the next chapter.
Yeah.
But to do that,
it's gonna be this is gonna be
it's a good chapter.
This is gonna be one trip of a chapter. Yo, we don't know what's wrong with us either, okay?
Yeah. But yeah, that was chapter 13. Put in the comments how you think you would cry if you received Katniss's burns.
I want to know, actually, if I had a question from this episode, it would be, how would you react in this situation?
Perish. Yeah, so how would you react in this situation? I think that's a good question. I also have a question of my own.
Okay.
Who can tell me what I'm drinking? It's in a can and it's all green. So, put in the comments what you think I'm drinking.
I'm sorry, I accidentally hit my mic.
It's not just me anymore.
Yeah, but if we were to go back and count that up...
Shut the hell up. Dang it. Just over and over again.
Sounds more like a door lock than pencil lead breaking. Like an old door lock.
I think it just shoved it back in there.
Hey, phrasing. Phrasing.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm lightheaded.
If you guys enjoyed this episode, please leave a like and comment, and please, if you're new here, subscribe. Yeah. Check out the rest of the episodes.
Yeah, mostly
both forward and backwards, depending on when you
find this. Yeah. If you've started with this one and you made it all the way to this point, and didn't think, maybe there's an episode 1.
I mean, that's fair. Sometimes I find things in the middle of a series and I don't realize that it's in the middle of a series because like I just click on it and I'm like, all right, let's check this out.
Right. But we are literally in the middle of a book.
Yeah.
So it's a little different.
I mean, if you've read the book, where does it matter? Like, if you've read the book as many times as you or I have, does it really matter where you start?
Has anyone read the books as many times as I have?
I guarantee somebody has. I think we had this conversation last week.
We did, and I still disagree with that because I have read this series way too many times. You wouldn't think so with how many times I mess up the reading, but in my defense, most of the time I'm hearing it in my head read by Carolyn McCormick. And, so my brain wants to quote it, but my mouth and eyes are trying to read it, so it messes me up.
Yeah, I get that because I kind of do the same thing.
Oh yeah, just wait until we do The Fault in Our Stars.
Which we're working on something behind the scenes to maybe try to get that going. And that'll probably exclusively be on YouTube for the time being if we do start The Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah.
Until we finish the Hunger Games books.
Yeah.
Or at least the first one.
Book. Yeah.
So that way it's not there's not like you're not getting like going back and forth from one book to another.
Yeah.
Unless I can create another
I don't know.
playlist on Spotify. I'll have to look into that.
I would assume that you could because I mean, like music artists have multiple albums.
Right.
So.
I just don't know how to do it because I'm not familiar with the program.
Right, me neither. But, you know, it is something that we plan on doing. I mean, for sure, the first one-off book we are going to do is The Fault in Our Stars.
For sure. That is an incredible novel.
And though I don't know it as well as I used to, I do still, especially the first couple chapters, know it
word for word.
Yeah. And that's not
a joke.
Because
late in the summer of my 17th year, my mother decided I was depressed.
Presumably because I rarely left the house. Spent most of my time in bed.
Infrequently. It's a great book. That's going to be a rough one to go through in that.
Oh, yeah.
In that, in the way we've been just kind of, digging through this, that's going to be a rough one to go through.
Yeah.
In terms of, emotional damage.
Yeah. But I used to listen to that one, every night when I went to sleep. And would just, go through the whole thing, restart it, go through the whole thing, restart it. So I have listened to that book more times than I've listened to any other book.
Yeah. And I've listened to it quite a few times at this point, but still nowhere near as many.
No, I would have to put with that one, I definitely don't think anyone has read it as many times as I have.
I would have to put it on repeat and listen to it all day, every day.
For a year.
Because it's a 7-hour book? It's a 7-hour, 11-minute book.
Yeah.
Why do I remember that?
It's 7 hours.
Wait, I have the whole audiobook on my phone. Let me look.
I mean, I technically also have it on my phone. Because...
Nope, that is not the right thing. Where is it? Oh, I hit the wrong one. Let's see here.
It's 7 hours and 11 minutes.
Is it?
Yep.
Dang, I'm good. Why do I remember that? Also, where did it go? Because I know I had it on my phone.
I know it's in Mom's library on here, but I just...
Yeah.
searched up like the actual book without searching.
But anyway, yeah, that'll be the first one-off book we do.
Yeah.
We're trying to get things worked out to where we can maybe start that in the next couple of months. Maybe. Hopefully sooner than that, but we'll see how things kind of play out. What?
We'll worry about this later.
But so we're trying to plan some stuff out to get that going.
Yeah.
And try to get 2 episodes out a week. So one of whatever like series we're working through. So in this case, it's the Hunger Games right now, and then an episode later in the week for a one-off book.
Yeah.
Or when I say one-off, I mean just like a standalone novel.
Yeah.
So we're trying to.
It's not part of a series.
Yeah, we're trying to work through that and try to figure it out. And there are some books that we'll probably treat as like solo novels. One I can think of in particular would be Beautiful Creatures, and that is just because that is such a long book. And really, if it were to be just a single book from start to finish, it's a complete story from start to finish.
I mean, the first book does leave on a cliffhanger, so.
It is a cliffhanger, but at the same time, like, it's, like, you could take that as just, that's it.
Yeah.
It depends on the interpretation, I guess. But anyway.
Not the point.
If you guys enjoyed this episode and all our ramblings, please make sure to be back next week.
Yeah.
And with that, please remember to check your... To
renew your book on the way out.
Yeah, I was about to say to check your book in on the way out. We're not at the book check-in part here, so...
No.
So please remember to renew your books on the way out of the library today. And we will see you right back here next week.
Bye-bye.